Hello and welcome to another session of today's Stop and Chat series. We are going to be going over a relatively new offering, and we're going to look at the concept of Smart-1 Cloud Checkpoints management infrastructure for your firewall estate in the cloud. So that is what we're going to be going through today. And I'm joined by my esteemed colleague Lee. Hi Lee, how are you doing today, buddy?
Hi there, Manning. I'm doing very well, thank you, and looking forward to introducing this perhaps new tech to a lot of people.
Yes. So for those of you who are unaware, Lee has been working. I think you're in the channel team for the longest member of our specific team.
Almost 10 years this coming October.
That's crazy, and you do a lot of work with some of our big global partners around the country. Is that right?
Yep.
It's good.
Big GSIs, telcos, so I'm sure you can think of a number of different brand names there. But
Yeah.
I've worked all ranges of the channel partner range, but right now I work with mostly telcos. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. So one thing that we are seeing a transition for people and their technology in all different places is they are moving that management component that looks after the logging and the policies and the configuration settings. And they've moved that from an on-premise, either a virtual machine or a physical appliance, and then migrating that to some form of software as a service, a SaaS-based management platform. Now, we all know that Office 365 from Microsoft was the template, was for everybody to do this, for emails. And as we've seen, other technologies such as Checkpoint's Harmony Endpoint product has moved from an on-premise manager into the cloud, which has been massively adopted by our customers, with very few customers still remaining on-premise. And we're starting to see a trend in our firewall management infrastructure being moved from on-premise into the cloud as well. And that is what Lee is going to go through with us today in quite a bit more detail. Isn't that right, Lee?
It is. So you're right. So I'll pop up my slides. I've got a few slides. As you may or may not be aware, a lot of our products now are kind of SaaS, web-bound. We call that the Infinity Portal. So if you kind of look towards the left of my slide, we've got a lot of different solutions, but the firewall management or the gateway management has probably been like the bread and butter from Checkpoint for a long time. But you're quite right. People are moving away from on-prem. They want something that's just a SaaS-based service that brings lots of advantages. You can access it from anywhere. You don't need to worry about high availability because it's now in the cloud. So high availability is kind of baked in. But the tried and tested way that customers like to work, and that console is just there. We've even provided the management console into a web browser. So even though you can still install the console to a machine, you can now also get to it via the web browser. I will demonstrate that during this talk. Get the same rich functionality, 2 clicks and you're there, still the same kind of full threat visibility, but now accessed from whatever your favorite web browser is, Chrome, Firefox, whatever. The good thing about the SmartOne Cloud is that its management is it's flexible, it's auto scaled, everything's on demand. So I've been through a number of different installations where customers are going from 10 gateways to 50 gateways, from 50 to 100. We start getting involved with multi-domain, for large installs. With this model, you literally just add the gateways whenever you need. You can keep the logs forever if that's what you want to do. We do provide an amount of log storage which can be increased, but everything is kind of auto scaled. So performance-wise, it doesn't really matter if you've got 5 gateways or 10 or 50 or 100 or 250. We will scale that performance depending upon your install base. Deploying a new gateway, really easy. Going to show you how that's done. So, click this big plus sign, stick the name in, stick a comment in, register it. It then says pending the SIC establishment, the secure connectivity that's going on there. Put the authentication key in. The 2 sides will hook up. And then you've got your headquarter gateway. It says here, registration complete. Really easy. Very simple. not trying to make anything complicated. And then obviously the gateway then appears as an object as it would normally do in that console. You're off. Zero maintenance, so, not really much of a startup effort, no installation, no racking of any appliance, no building of a VM, not really any upkeep, lots of things that we're taking care of. So, yeah, let's get on with the demo. So hopefully now you can see that I've created this tenant called Lee Gym Company. Just, that's just the...
You've never been to a gym.
No, I've never been to a gym. Well,
Neither have I.
Long time ago. Don't really like the gym. Let's not talk about that anymore. But SmartOne Cloud. So now you can see here, Quantum SmartOne Cloud. As it says, as we said in the presentation, on-demand expansion, zero maintenance, no need to patch or do any of that stuff. Let's get started. Desired log retention period. I'm just going to leave it at the default. I'm going to use this for demo. I am planning to manage CloudGuard network security, which is going to be in Azure. So I'm going to tick this box so that performance-wise, it will know that we're communicating with a cloud-based gateway. Now just get this window. We're prepping your account, kind of building the service. And in the meantime, I can now go over to Azure and launch my gateway. It's not going to be a complicated process. So here we are on my Azure login. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to search Checkpoint CloudGuard Network Security, which just comes up here, Firewall and Threat Prevention. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply launch a single gateway. So I'm going to change this from where it says management. I can build a cluster, high availability. I can build multi-domain, an auto-scale. I'm just going to go for the single gateway just to demonstrate the fact that we're going to hook this gateway back up to the cloud management system.
It's one of the things that I've had a couple of my customers have been a little bit confused about. They'll say, "Oh, is SmartOne Cloud a management station installed in Azure or a management station installed in AWS?" And the answer to that is no. It's not. SmartOne Cloud is specifically a management station that is hosted by Checkpoint inside of the Infinity platform. A management station inside of something like Azure is just a management station inside of Azure. There's no special name for it. It's just be called that. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to choose pay as you go. All the gateways that you can launch in Checkpoint come with a 15-day license anyway. And now it's, now Azure is asking me, what resource group do you want? A resource group is basically a collection of entities that then become the same kind of family within Azure. So I'm just going to give this a name of Gateway Demo. Click on OK. Now you can see that here. I'm going to install it into an appropriate region. So we're in the UK. I'm going to give it a reasonable VM name. So again, Gateway Demo VM. Going to go with password. Going to type in a very simple password. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to choose the bring your own license. Now I need to put the SIT key. That's the secure connectivity key that will be required to generate, the link between the manager and the cloud. Sorry, between the cloud management and this gateway. So again.
There we go. A couple of simple networks for it. So again, it's important to note that this particular gate will also come with an evaluation in here as well. What have you missed, Lee? It says you've missed there's something there. Click on the Basics tab, top left-hand corner. There we go. Something. Yeah, your name and your password. I always just call mine standalone firewall. I don't think you're allowed hyphens in there. Gateway Demo VM. There we go. And then your password is also wrong, I think, as well. If you go back, bud. The simple things. It's always the simple things. Yeah. I'm sure the password Lee is great or Manning is great is not allowed. Interestingly, I had a customer of mine a little while ago who said to me that they were trialing a number of different technologies. And I had a phone call from one of the sales specialists at one of my partners saying, It was on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and they said, if you can get a firewall running in the cloud for the customer with a manager within an hour, they'll choose to go with your technology. And I was like, I was like, challenge accepted. I will go for that. I'll give it a go. And I did exactly what we're doing right now. I set up a SmartOne cloud instance. I set up a single gateway in the cloud. And the customer was by the end of it, one of the most astute, technically capable people I've encountered for a long time. And he just understood what we were doing. And I remember starting the call saying to him, okay, you've given me an hour. We're going to go fast. Strap in. And we did exactly this. And, he was very, very happy with it. And ultimately, he became a Checkpoint customer, moved away from another solution purely due to the simplicity
story
of this. I remember my account manager said to me, on a Friday, you'll never do it, but I'm never one to turn down a challenge around Checkpoint technology like that. So particularly when I know we've got such agile tools like this available to us.
Yeah.
So there we go. All up and running.
So back on the SmartOne Cloud piece, what I want to do now is, as you can see here, I could, open the Smart Console, or I could download it. But first of all, we want to add that new gateway we just added. So let's have a look at how we add that.
You have to remember what you called it now.
Well, I'm going to give them the same name, but I don't think in this case it actually matters. So it's creating the object. Deployment is complete.
Wait, there we go.
So really simple. That's been deployed by an automatic template in Azure. All we need to do now is hook it up. So first of all, I need to run this command on the gateway. So I need to find out what kind of IP address we've got on this gateway. So
I always click on go to resource group. Or what's your special way of getting to it?
Yeah, I normally click on all resources, but I'm trying to find the gateway VM machine, and then it will give me the IP address, won't it?
There we
public
go. You
IP,
found it. Perfect.
Yeah, so what I need is a public IP, and then I go to PuTTY. Put that IP in, click on open, and
hope you've remembered your passwords.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What was it? Manning is great. 1, 2, 3.
No, it wasn't. Sorry. There we go. Right. So now I need to go to this piece. Copy this command, which basically is telling the gateway that you're going to connect to a cloud management server. Connect that in, run that.
Failed to maintain lock.
No, that's normal.
Oh, is that not you?
Yeah, that is normal. So what we're going to do now, connect to a cloud management service. Perhaps we need to wait for a few more minutes. Let's give it another try. There we go.
Hey, just needed a couple of extra seconds to come up and running. Let's go again. Sometimes nice to see things not working perfectly because if a customer tries to do this himself.
There you go. Cloud management enabled.
There we go. So it says there at the bottom there says unable to connect to the client. Why would that say that there yet? Is that because it's not ready yet, Lee? Or
probably because the whilst the VM might be up, the services won't up. So now we're going to go to the cloud management gateway, and it says pending trust, SIG establishment. That will eventually turn to green as the gateway connects, because we've just done that portion on the PuTTY window. So I'm just going to put here.
Great. So we can see that's all up and running now. That should be good.
So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, because obviously it's just pending the communication from the Azure platform back to this, I'm going to go ahead and try and open the Smart Console by opening the Web Smart Console, because what I'm expecting to see now is an object for that gateway installed into this management console. And I'm launching this now because it does take a little while to come up. And there it is. That's our gateway.
And that's it.
So what we need to do now is make sure that the SIC key is enabled on the object. You'll be able to see that here where it says secure internal communication, uninitialized. So what we need to do now click on the trust button.
There we go.
And we get the trust established.
And if you know Checkpoint, that pretty much means that you're ready to rock and roll. And everything from here is straightforward and is everything the same as you would expect from a traditional Checkpoint box.
Yeah,
once SIC is established.
Yeah, and you can see that because now it's talking to the gateway and it's asking to confirm the topology, which means that it reads all the interfaces. You get this nice little window, this little diagram that tells you that gateway demo.
That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Lee. Really quick, a lot of information to take in there in a very short amount of time. But hopefully our people who are watching this can see how quick and easy it is to actually set this up. Do you have any sort of common questions that people may come off the back of a demo like this, sort of things they want to know if they're transitioning? Maybe like Lee's top 3 tips or something would be great to know.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is that people ask, well, when will this status change? It will change eventually once the full communication has been triggered. The other thing they tend to ask is, does this operate any differently? No, it doesn't. Once it's added as an object here, you configure it. You configure your rule set and any options or whatever as if it was standard gateway on premise. It doesn't make any difference because you're using cloud management and a Azure bound gateway. It's just as simple. So
a couple of things I hear from customers are, can I have CLI access to the SmartOne cloud backend? Nope. that is one thing that you are handing over the same way as you would with Exchange. What we would say though is if you have particular files or features that you are wanting to access, shout out to people like your SEs, like me and Lee, and we can raise feature requests internally to get them put in. One very common example I've seen is the user.def file for controlling the remote access tools, and that is a feature that will be coming shortly to SmartOne Cloud, so people can make those adjustments through the GUI and not have to go into the CLI. So we do listen when those things happen. We can make sure they end up in the GUI in the end. All right. Any further thoughts at all, Lee, or are we all good?
No, we're all good, I think.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with us for this particular episode of our Stop and Chat series. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. We'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And if not, reach out to your SEs or your partners, and we can help you go through one of these demos if you're interested for yourself or demonstrating this to your customers. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.